My name is Jake Blue, and I'm on a mission to uncover the greatest small towns in America. That's why today I'd like to welcome you to one of my favorite towns in California. This is Julian. One of the many things that makes Julian such a special town is it's the first sign of mountains and forests that you'll find for over 5 hours on your drive across the desert from Phoenix to San Diego. Suddenly, the desert turns into this magnificent mountain wilderness, and you wouldn't expect there to be so few people here in Southern California, but this place somehow still manages to hold on to this wilderness pioneer charm to it. There's old little broken down cars on the side of the road. There's a beautiful little small town with bakeries. There's people that smile and wave at you when you walk by the sidewalks. This is one of the most wonderful places. The only thing that brings you back to reality is when you stop at the gas stations and realize you have California prices here. Gonna start the day with a little bit of breakfast over here at the Purple Owl Cafe. Julian has quite a few little morning cafes. This comes right through the Pacific Crest Trail, so there's a lot of hiker-style cafes, but they open at weird times. Inconsistent Wi-Fi, this Purple Owl Cafe, even though it's a vegetarian cafe, is my favorite one.
I'm sorry, I know.
Oh my goodness, that was such a good breakfast. I love this little town. So we're gonna be right back down here in downtown Julian later tonight. But first I wanna show you probably the best part about Julian is that unlike so many other towns in Southern California, Julian has access to a ton of public, wild, beautiful places. And you don't find that very much in Southern California at all, in my experience. So that's where we're gonna go right now. Let's head up the mountain. And here you are at a place where you can finally appreciate the part of Southern California most people never get to see. Look how cool it is out here. Yes. So if you're like me, most people that I travel with as well, you probably hate coming to Southern California. I used to hate coming here, and the reason why is because of the mass of humanity that lies about 50 miles this way. You see, over these mountains, about 50 miles down the drainages, through the forest, past the mountain lions, is the city of San Diego and LA, and the crazy chaos with traffic and people and a van lifer's nightmare because there's nowhere to sleep. You're gonna get woken up. You have to pay $20 an hour for parking. It's insane. And I hated it. But when I finally came up here and I uncovered this beautiful little small town, Julian, and several others like it, Alpine, California that way, and then up towards this way on the way to Palm Springs. There's a couple special ones as well. This is why everyone came to California. All the settlers crossed ages of desert. You can just see the edge of the desert mountains over here where it turns from forest into Rocky Mountains. And beyond that, for 5 hours of driving is desert all the way to Phoenix, Arizona. There's no water, there's nothing. So you can imagine if you were in a little covered wagon hoping you make it to the land of milk and honey of California and you saw this, suddenly you understand why so many people flocked here. Over these last 4 years on the road, I've made my criteria for my favorite small towns in America, places where you can almost always pause and hear the song of the forest still singing its tune. You see, over here there are birds singing. This tree right over here is groaning a little bit in the wind. The grass rustles as you walk by like a scene out of Gladiator. This is one of the wild places still left in America, and it's 50 miles away from a place where you'd never think wild exists anywhere close to there. You drive through San Diego and the first thing you think is, oh my God, get me out of here. But if you come up here, there are still wild animals that rule this best part of America. It's one of my favorite places. Look at these mountains. How can you beat that, right? It's wild here. I've got 1.2 more miles up here to the summit, and then I think I'll be able to show you the desert on this side and the ocean on this side. I just had to hide behind this sign so you can hear me talk, but I want to show you the ecology a little bit right here. All this wind that you can feel is coming off the Pacific Ocean and depositing all its moisture on these mountains right here. So if you look over here, you can see how many trees and forests and lush and beautiful it is up here. But when I show you the other side, you'll see that all that moisture out of the air is being stolen from the other side of these mountains, and you'll just see the ecosystem's totally different. So keep in mind, this is what you've got on the west-facing side towards the Pacific Ocean. A couple hundred feet from where I took the last clip, and all of a sudden the land totally changes. You remember on the other side, I'll throw a side-by-side up on the screen for you right now. You can see west-facing slope, wild water, forest, beautiful. East-facing slope, desert. Immediately, this is what it looks like. Just because the water is sucked away. It's like a squeegee. As the winds blow up the mountain squeezes all that water out of the air, and when it gets over here, it turns into dry air where the wind just whips across the desert. Next 250 miles, you'll hardly see a tree. Down at the bottom, you can see some vegetation where the seeds in the rivers carry the forest down the mountain a little bit. You can see some trees up at the tallest points of these highest peaks, but other than that, man, you're not going to see a forest. You get all the way over to like Mount Lemmon in Tucson, Arizona. This is phenomenal. Okay, time for some dinner. Quick reminder for you though, this is only one of like the 59 top favorite small towns I've found in all of America. And if you want to see all of them, I have a Google map with all the pins linked to all my favorite towns that you can get at the link in my description. Just plug in your email, I'll send the link over to you. Let's go get some dinner. It's December right now and only like 5:30 p.m., but it gets dark so fast this time of year. That being said, we're headed over to Romano's restaurant. I've never been here before. Every time I've come, it's always been too packed for me to get in, so we're gonna hope I can get a table with us tonight. Made it in Romano's. I'm so excited for Italian food.
Walk away. No one will even be mad. Like, really?
This is the chicken parmesan. They have a little sweet and sour red cabbage over here that I've never had before. White rice, some Italian white rice that I've never had either. I'm so excited.
Oh no, we were yesterday.
There is not much better than the feeling of a full stomach after a good hike. Now I'm walking to downtown Julian with you because I want to show you one of my favorite parts about this town that I had to wait right till right now to show you. And actually, you might not be able to see it in the camera. Julian is part of what's called an international dark sky community. A lot of LA is actually as well, because they have the Keg Observatory or something like that up there. But here is one of the few downtowns of any town I've ever been to that you can see stars in the sky. Now I have a camera, and that camera is probably not picking up the lights from stars a million miles away, but maybe just a little bit out there. I don't know. I can see stars downtown here in Julian. All the lights are on, things like that. And up here, are still stars. What a glorious little town, huh? Well, one of the best. I just love it. Just for the fun of it, let's walk over to the grocery store. This is Jack's grocery store right here, and if I remember right, this kind of feels like a little provision, like an old cowboy provisions shop, more than a real grocery store. Hi there. You guys just getting ready to close up? Are you working here?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you just getting ready to close up?
No, we have another like 2 hours.
Oh, okay. All right, wanted to make sure I wasn't keeping you open. Yeah. Cute little place, right? I'm honestly just walking around at this point because it's so charming to be down here, and knowing I have to leave tomorrow, I know I'm actually going to miss this town in the morning when I start driving up north. So I'm just wandering, and that's when you know you have a really good small town. It's not everywhere that it takes a very rare place that I want to stay. Let's put it that way. My parents go crazy because I'll spend like 4 days somewhere and I'm crawling out of my skin. I have to go. I have to freak out. Here, one of the few places that I don't feel like I have to freak out and like crawl out of my box like a fox in a cage, man. This is one of the towns. All right, as sad as it is to leave Julian, I love this little town. I'm leaving for a good reason, for a noble cause, is because in the next video, I am checking off my last national park in the lower 48 states, the Channel Islands National Park, and after that, I'll have been to 54 of the 63 national parks in America. I'm so close, man. I've been on this trek to check off all the national parks in the lower 48 this entire year, and just filling in all the little gaps that I missed over the last couple years of living on the road, and I'm so close, and now I get to do it, hopefully in the next video for you. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. And I gotta leave Julian to go do that right now. So I'm gonna start driving north up to get in the area of that place. And I will see you in the next video. Stay wild, be free, and check out Julian, man. In fact, download the guide that I have in that. Or it's not even a guide, it's the link to my Google map of all my pinned locations of my favorite towns in America in the description. It has all of them. There's 59 of them on the list right now. I'm going to Maui soon, so that has the potential to add some more cool towns on the list. But right now, man, I've spent 4 years on the road finding the best small towns in the country, and these are them. So check them out at the link in the description below. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.